On planet Earth, more than 10 years have passed since the fight against gas. Both Goku and Vegeta have achieved extremely high powers, like the Saiyan Broly. Things have been at peace for a long time. Not even Frieza has bothered, which suggests that everything is apparently fine. Whis is training with Goku in an artificial dimension that was created by Bulma. The dimension is accessed through a machine which opens a hole through which you can enter. In there, time goes by differently, just like in the Room of Time. However, there is a difference, and that is that in this place, the gravity is more than 100 times greater than that of Earth, which makes the powers of both Goku and Vegeta and Broly grow more. I must say, Goku, you're getting better. But you still have a long way to go if you want to even touch the true power of an angel. Don't underestimate me, Whis. I've been training something new, something different. Goku closes his eyes for a moment, concentrating his energy. The air around him begins to distort, and suddenly a dark and primitive aura arises around him, different from any transformation he has shown before. His hair frizzles slightly, but does not change color. His musculature becomes denser, and an animal intensity is reflected in his eyes. What is this? That energy seems primitive, like the origins of the Saiyan race. Without giving time for an answer, Goku launches at a speed that even surprises Whis. In a matter of seconds, he connects a blow to the face of the angel, something he had never managed to do with such precision. How is it possible? At that moment, the angel would wonder, looking at how his defenses would have been penetrated by the Saiyan. We must not forget that we are in a place where gravity is 100 times greater than in any corner of the universe. It is impossible that he was able to do this. If this is the case, he could hit any of the 12 angels with all the tranquility of the world at this moment. Whis said, without time to react. Before Whis can react completely, Goku unleashes a sequence of brutal and fast attacks, followed by a punch in the stomach. I can't remember the last time someone made me bleed, the angel would say at that moment. There is no doubt that your power has surpassed that of Mr. Whis, or at least that is what I think. Goku at that moment, with a winning expression, would tell Whis, I told you not to underestimate me. Goku, with his new power, prepares to attack again, but Whis, with a fast and elegant movement, appears behind him, stopping the attack before it begins. But don't get confused, Goku. Although it is impressive, you still have a lot to learn if you plan to master this power completely. Goku at that moment would be cold, saying, I see, so this is all your power. Goku walked away from Whis at that moment. Whis at that moment would mention with a smile, no, it's not all my power, but we could say that you are already at the level of the angels practically. Let's say this is like 60% of my power. Also, tell me, what happens, Goku? I notice you much more tired. Yes, the truth is that I still do not control this power. It could take decades even to do it, the Saiyan said, who would begin to breathe agitatedly. At that moment, Whis would begin to attack Goku, who would have problems, but despite everything, he would continue to dodge the powers of the angel, who, realizing how powerful Saiyan had become, used 65% of his power, with which he gave him a strong blow on his entire face, which sent him to fly, to knock him out to get out with the one of this dimension. From a room of the palace of Zeno, it is impressive the power that this mortal has achieved. What was a simple spark of potential has now become an uncontrolled flame. If he continues on this path, he could rival the angels, if it is not that he already equalized them. I don't understand it. And the Saiyan Vegeta is also very close to this power. And it is not all, but his children, Rohan, Goten, Trunks, Bra, even the Saiyajin Broly also have a too high power. I don't understand it. The sphere shows Goku exchanging blows with Whis. The Saiyajin continues to press, his power in constant rise. The sequence of blows that Goku managed to connect on Whis not only impacted the angel, but it also caught the attention of the great priest. Never before had I seen something like this in a mortal being. This power is not just a natural evolution of his species, it's something older, something more dangerous. If he continues to train in favorable conditions, maybe he could put the plan of the day in danger. The great priest closes the hand in which he holds the energy sphere, and the image disappears. I will have to watch this mortal more closely. Goku and Whis, for their part, left the dimension, looking at a Goku with his clothes destroyed, but without a doubt, what most caught their attention was the fact that Whis would have blows on his face. In fact, he would have blood on his face. Beerus at that moment would say, "I see, so this Saiyajin managed to hit you." Yes, he has succeeded, Mr. Beerus, without a doubt that he has surpassed your powers. Goku would smile, looking at Beerus and Vegeta, but for some strange reason, these would not look so surprised. What happens, Mr. Beerus? Although I told him that the power of both has surpassed them with growth, I don't notice it astonished by this revelation. Whis, Vegeta, and I have not wasted all these years. Without a doubt that if you faced me 10 years ago with the Goku of now, I would win with no many problems. But right now, I have a higher power. Like Vegeta, since Frieza became so strong, this Vegeta did not stop and was so close to my power that I decided to resume my training. Whis, with a look of surprise, said, "I am so surprised by all this, Mr. Beerus, but I am more surprised not to have known it before." Bulma at that moment would say, "A few days ago, in fact, both Gohan and Piccolo were around this place. Apparently, they have also been doing training. Even Gohan took a prototype of the angelic dimension, so he possibly recreated his version. It's amazing. I'll go visit them to see what they have done with that Whis." Whis at that moment felt a small chill, thing that everyone realized. "Are you okay?" asked Bulma. Yes, everything is fine." In a vast celestial hall located in an unknown corner of the multiverse, the angels of all the universes are gathered. "Thanks for responding to my call. The time has come to discuss a matter of great importance, something that has been fermenting in our hearts for a long time." The angels look at each other, knowing that something transcendental is about to be revealed. For ages we have been neutral beings, servants of the gods of destruction, watching as the mortals rise and fall, while we remain motionless. But that is about to change. The murmurs between the angels begin to increase, but they abruptly stop when Vados intervenes. "Father, your words tell me that you no longer want to be a spectator, is that true?" "Exactly, Vados. We are tired of our roles. The balance of the multiverse is in our hands, and yet we are still mere servants of capricious gods and of Zeno-sama, who plays with the fate of the universes without really understanding the impact of their decisions." Daishinkan at that moment would say, "Our powers go beyond any mortal. They go beyond any destructive god even. It is ridiculous that we have a secondary role." At that moment, Daishinkan would correct his own words. "Well, almost any mortal." "So we are finally talking about the plan, the day of, right? The day when we stop being servants and take control," Mojito said. "Correct. The day will be the moment when we overthrow Zeno-sama and take absolute control of the multiverse. We will no longer be mere observers, we will become rulers." A tense silence fills the room for a moment. The angels assimilate the magnitude of what is being said. Then Zor, the angel of Universe 2, intervenes. "This is monumental, Daishin-kan. Love you, but I must ask, how exactly do you plan to do it? Zeno-sama is omnipotent." The support of everyone is key, but there is something that must be mentioned. There are two notable absences in this meeting, Whis and Kuz. The angels look around, finally noticing that the angels of Universe 7 and Universe 10 are not present, making everyone surprised, filling the place with murmurs. I'm afraid they have become too fond of their respective gods of destruction and certain mortals, especially in the case of Whis with Goku and Vegeta. The power these mortals are developing has created a bond that goes beyond what is allowed. Whis has lost his objectivity, and Kuz has shown a similar attachment to Gowasu and others. Really? Whis, the perfect angel, has fallen into the traps of friendship with the mortals? That is interesting, Mojito said at that moment. It is a weakness that we cannot afford. They have betrayed the purpose for which we were created. They will not follow us on the day of. So that means that if they do not align with our purpose, should we consider them enemies? I would ask Angel Margarita at that moment, which in the end would be doubtful, since without her realizing it, she also felt some pity for Burmad, the troops of pride, and the beings of her universe. Daishin-kan, who would feel slowly, said, "Unfortunately, yes, Whis and Kuz now represent an obstacle to our plans. If they oppose us, we will have no choice but to eliminate them." Vados lowers his head, worried, but says nothing. He knows that his brother is in a delicate position. Mojito smiles broadly, while Zor and Cognic look at each other, evaluating the possible repercussions. Before everything goes, there is an issue that I cannot ignore. While observing the development of certain recent events, I witnessed something disturbing. Daishin-kan extends a hand, and a sphere of bright energy appears in the air. Inside it is projected a training scene between Goku and Whis in the dimension designed by Bulma, showing how Goku in his new primitive form managed to hit Whis and make him bleed. This mortal, Son Goku, it is not the first time that he challenges expectations, but now he has reached a power that even among the angels begins to be a threat. The silence in the room is overwhelming. The angels watch the scene carefully, noticing how Goku connects a sequence of blows on Whis, one of the most powerful among them. The surprise, the bewilderment, and the concern begin to be noticed in the expressions of some. Interesting, a simple mortal capable of making one of us bleed, and not just anyone, but Whis, the angel of Universe 7. We should worry, Father. This is alarming. Goku has grown a lot, but I never thought he could reach this level. If he can touch Whis, what would stop us from being his next target? A mortal, no matter how strong he is, should not be able to reach a power that rivals our point, Father. How far can this Saiyajin go? Daishin-kan observes each of his children before answering. His expression remains serene, but there is a drop of hidden concern behind his gaze. Goku has touched a power that does not belong to the mortals. Its current form reflects the most primitive essence of the Saiyajin, a wild and uncontrolled power that rivals the very energy that flows in the angels. It is not the power of the gods of destruction, nor that of the common mortals. It is something older, deeper, and it is a risk. If Goku has reached this level, does this mean that other mortals could follow his example, or is this Saiyajin an anomaly? Asked the angel Zolar of Universe 2. The fact that he has reached this power without being guided by us is a clear sign that the limits between the mortals and the angels are beginning to blur. If he continues training, who can say how far he will go? The murmurs among the angels increase. The concern for Goku's potential threat begins to echo in their hearts. Korn, the Angel of Universe 8, crosses his arms and looks at Daishinkan directly. If this mortal can already hurt an angel, we cannot ignore it. In the right conditions, it could become a threat to our plans. If we go ahead with the Day D, Goku could interfere. What do you propose we do, Father? Also remember that this mortal is a friend of Zeno. Goku is an anomaly, yes, but he is also a product of the circumstances that surround him. Whis, by falling in love with him and Vegeta, has allowed these mortals to grow beyond what they should. Goku can reach a point where he is able to face not only one of us, but several, and under favorable conditions, he could defeat us. Of course, when we say that there are mortals who have a very high power, I am not only talking about Goku. In his universe, in fact, in his nearby circle, there are beings that sooner or later will also reach these powers. Vegeta, Gohan, Broly, Frieza, Goten, Pan, Bra, Trunks, Piccolo, Aru. There are so many beings that have a high fighting power, but with similar potentials. Just to talk about Universe 7, Margarita, your universe also has warriors with a high power that can also be a threat. Margarita at that time would be quite surprised. So, do you suggest eliminating it before it becomes a bigger threat? Eliminating it would be the most direct solution, but not the simplest. Goku is still an important pawn in the multiverse. However, we cannot allow him to continue growing uncontrollably. Whis will not take action against him, and that makes it a complication. I think I have an idea, but for that, I require them to re-enter that dimension, to put a seal on it. Although also talking about this, not only powerful mortals are a danger, even a human with a brilliant brain such as Bulma, wife of the Saiyan Vegeta and friend of Goku, not only managed in the past to create a radar that locates the energy that emits from the dragon's superspheres, but has also been able to create a totally artificial dimension.
I see where you're going, Father. If Goku represents a threat and Whis refuses to stop him, then we will not only have to deal with the mortal, but also with our own brother, said Mojito. So after this, the angels would go to their respective universes, while Daishinkan would be ready to give the indications. On the side of Goku, he would fly to Gohan's house to arrive. "Grandpa, you haven't been here for so long." "Oh, hello, Bread," Goku said at that moment, looking at his granddaughter, whom he would hug. "What brings you to this place?" "Well, I've come to see your father and Piccolo." "Yes, follow me, this way," said Gohan's daughter at that moment, who would lead Goku to the place where Gohan and Piccolo were. "Wow, but it's Goku, so long without seeing you," Piccolo said. "Hello, how are you? I see you haven't been wasting your time," Gohan, with a smile, would tell him. "Father, you won't believe the things we've discovered," Gohan would say. "Some time ago, I asked Bulma for her artificial dimension prototype, so I decided to make some improvements, and as a result, I changed the flow of time in the dimension that this machine creates. The machine that created Bulma with the particles would open a portal, which, due to the components and the chemical and physical reactions, created a dimension in which one day out they were 3 months inside, with a gravity 1,000 times higher. But this dimension works differently, since one day out they are 2 years inside, and the gravity is 1,000 times higher in that place. Both Mr. Piccolo and we could become much more powerful training in that place." "Yes, you should also try it, Goku," said the Namekian. Goku would say, "I think it's good, but Gohan, before that I would like to fight you again. I see that you have become strong, but I have not been left behind. Instead come Beerus, Whis, and Vegeta." "Weren't they training?" Goku would ask. "Yes, but we have decided to come to this place." "Great! Gohan and I had planned to have a fight, but what if I also fight you, Mr. Beerus?"
I would like to see if you have become as strong as you say." Wow, I see that Goku is willing to everything," said Whis with a smile. Beerus smiled to rise to the sky, but Gohan would say, Wait, not in this place. What do you think and we enter the dimension?" "Yes, I think it's better," Goku said. "However, gravity will be an inconvenience. We will not be so comfortable," Goku said. Gohan would mention, "Don't worry, I can return gravity to normal, just with this button," he said to press it, restoring gravity. In this way, the portal opened, through which Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Piccolo, Beerus, and Whis entered to test their new powers. So, already inside, Goku would face Beerus. "Don't think I'll fight Beerus. This time I'll give everything," Beerus would say. "Don't even think I'll let you win. Let's see how strong you have become." Vegeta observes from a distance with crossed arms and a concentrated look. Whis is next to him, keeping a calm expression. However, he has a strong interest in this fight, but looking at Vegeta, he asks him, "And you, Mr. Vegeta, don't you plan to fight? It also causes me intrigue to know how strong he is." "Well, don't worry, Whis. Right now, my power is, we could say that at Beerus level. So this fight between Beerus and Kakaroto will be like seeing me fighting him." "Oh well, at least I think so." Goku went to his state of Super Saiyan Blue, with which he went with everything against the cat, who, without so many problems, would keep dodging Goku's attacks with LS to then hit him. However, he would realize that the Saiyan's power was at a too high level, which would surprise him a lot. "Well, I don't believe it. Without a doubt that you surprise me with that power you have, but don't think that with that it will be enough to beat me." The intensity of the fight increases. Goku went to his Ultra Instinct Venomized directly, with which he would be able to hit Beerus, who would be surprised, who releases more of his power. This, at that moment, Goku realized that things would have been totally contrary, since now it was Goku who was being hit ferociously by Beerus. "It's amazing. Not even with my Ultra Instinct I can do something to him." At that moment, Goku would move away, for the surprise of Whis, who would say, "I see, so you will use all that power against Mr. Beerus. This will be interesting." Vegeta would be surprised, saying, "What will he do?" Goku at that moment would increase his power, and followed by that, his appearance would change, surprising Beerus. Goku appeared in front of Beerus, causing the God of Destruction a feeling of fear for the great power that ruled Goku. Goku disappears from Beerus's sight, moving at a speed that the God of Destruction can hardly follow. Suddenly, a golden punch hits Beerus in the stomach, causing the god to retreat, surprised by the power of the blow. Goku continues with a burst of attacks, each blow faster and stronger than the previous. While Beerus, used to being the most powerful, now is on the defensive. And finally, Goku launches a last attack, a burst of golden energy that envelops Beerus and throws him against the ground, leaving a large cloud of dust in the air. When the cloud dissipates, Beerus is on the ground, exhausted and breathless, while Goku, in his Golden Saiyan form, floats over him with a serious but calm expression. Vegeta, looking that Goku was almost as if nothing, while Beerus was defeated, realized one thing, and it was that the power that Goku had right now was at other limits simply. Whis at that moment would say, "I never thought I would see the day that Mr. Goku would defeat Beerus-sama. No doubt that in his golden form he is closer to the level of the angels than the level of the destructive gods. Kakaroto, you surprise me, but don't think that because you have that power you will defeat me." At that moment, Vegeta would release a great power based on a very similar form to what Goku had. However, this would combine it perfectly with the power of his doctrine. But just when both are about to launch into combat, a dark and unknown energy envelops the room, and suddenly Goku and Whis are caught by some chains that shine with an intensity, tying them without prior notice. The gravity in the dimension begins to increase uncontrollably, as if someone was manipulating the laws of physics within the room of time. "What the hell is this? I can't move," the Saiyajin said at that moment. This is not a common power. These chains are designed to contain divine beings. Something or someone is behind this, Whis said at that moment, looking how his hands were completely tied. Vegeta and Beerus, who are free from the chains, suddenly feel the pressure of the gravity increase unbearably. The floor begins to crack and the dimension is distorted. Vegeta, while screaming, "Damn it, what's going on? I can't breathe. Something is wrong. This is not natural."
Won't it be a machine error? Goku would wonder, who managed to get away from the chains. Before they can act, the gravity becomes so intense that a hole opens in the space of the dimension, and both Vegeta and Beerus are violently expelled from the room of time, thrown outside as if they were mere toys. Outside, Gohan and Piccolo are patiently waiting for everyone to finish their training, but suddenly, the machine that creates the dimension begins to make strange noises while smoke comes out of it, until it explodes violently, throwing rubble and uncontrolled energy everywhere. Both approach quickly, but just when they do, Vegeta and Beerus come out of the dimension, colliding with the ground at an incredible speed. Gohan runs towards them, completely disconcerted. "What happened? Where is Dad and Mr. Whis?" Gohan would wonder, looking at both on the ground, who gets up. "I don't know. For a second we were about to fight, and then Kakarot and Whis were caught by some chains, and then the gravity began to crush us, and then we were expelled from that dimension." I had never felt such energy. Whoever is responsible has enough power to alter a dimension as advanced as the room of time, Beerus said. Gohan, somewhat worried, would say, "So Dad and Whis are still in there?" "Yes, they are still there. This is not the work of an ordinary power. Someone has carefully planned this, and whoever it is has the means to catch even Whis." While we talk, hours have passed in there, so Whis and Goku must have already left, so it's silly to think it's a bug, since whatever it is, it's an artificial dimension. They must have already left that place, but there are few beings that are above Whis in the pyramid, but I highly doubt that someone wanted to do something against him. I don't understand. The situation is strange. Gohan, at that moment, worried, would say, "We have to do something. If that dimension collapses with them inside, we could lose my dad and Whis forever." It's not that easy. The energy that has altered that dimension is ancient and very powerful. Whis could easily get out of there with his baculum, but simply something prevents him. In that case, we must take the machine to Bulma. Maybe she can repair it and make them get out of there, Gohan said. So everyone flew to the Capsule Corporation, where minutes later, Bulma, looking at all the chaos, would say, "Well, this machine is more advanced than the prototype it creates, but the failure seems somewhat illogical to me, since it has no origin. But whatever, fixing this, it could take me a while." "How long?" Gohan asked. "I don't know, maybe months. It's too long. They'll die in there." "Don't worry, although the time on the site is different, it will not be reflected in their physicals, so, at least in the case of Goku, he will not age, but he could suffer from hunger or those things." Beerus, at that moment, would say, "There is no problem with that. With his baculum, Whis could create infinite food." In another place, in fact, in another universe, there was the god of destruction, Champa.
who knew that Vados would have left because he had a meeting, but this suddenly, look how she lands in front of him. Vados, seeing his elegant composure, looked at the cat with morbid obesity to tell him, "Champa-sama, there is something important that I must tell you, something that could change the fate of the multiverse." Champa stops his gaze at Vados, listening to these serious words coming from his angel. "What? What is so important to put you like this? You know I don't like enigmas, Vados." Vados takes a deep breath before continuing. "I just came back from a meeting with my father and the rest of the angels, and well, without turning around, they plan to rebel." Champa opens his eyes, clearly surprised by what he just heard. An uncomfortableness takes over him, and for the first time in a long time, he feels a chill run through his back. Rebel? Against whom? What are you talking about, Vados? Against Zeno-sama. Daishin-kan believes that Zeno is no longer a suitable leader for the multiverse. The angels are tired of their role of simple observers and servants of the gods of destruction, and they want to take control and overthrow Zeno-sama. And not only that, they also plan to eliminate all the mortals who have become too powerful. Champa at that moment panicked, saying, "Don't tell me you're here to end me too." Champa-sama, there's more. Not all the angels agree with this plan. I will not support my father's rebellion. My loyalty is with you and with the true balance of the multiverse. But if the others continue on with this plan, not only Zeno-sama and his guards will be in danger, but all the gods will be destroyed. Champa at that moment would say, "But what are we supposed to do? We can't face Daishin-kan-sama and the rest of the angels." "There is an option, Champa-sama. We must warn Beerus and Whis of what is happening. Whis also has ties to Universe 7, and that is why he was not invited to the meeting. And his warriors, Goku, Vegeta, Broly, etc., will be useful. In truth, in our universe there are also warriors that can contribute. We have to put them safe too." Champa would tell Vados, without telling him anything about what is happening, without giving him context, "Gather all those who went to the Force tournament to this planet. We have to take them to a safe place, but that will be taken care of by the Kaioshin. We are going to Universe 7, Champa said, and he went with his angel to a great clock.
To the universe of his brother. In the Capsule Corporation, the sun is hidden, and knowing that things are already being resolved, the calm is suddenly interrupted by a feeling of energy that causes Vegeta and Piccolo to raise their heads immediately, alerted by the unusual presence. An energy bubble appears in front of the entrance of the Capsule Corporation, and sparks and bullets emerge from it. The sudden arrival of beings of such magnitude leaves everyone surprised. "Champa, what are you doing here? We don't have time for your nonsense. We haven't come out of courtesy or whim, Beerus-sama. Something terrible has happened. The order of the multiverse is in danger, and time is crucial." Bulma, Vegeta, Gohan, and Piccolo exchange looks of uncertainty. The tension in the air becomes palpable, while Champa advances with a more serious expression than usual, looking at his brother. "At a meeting with the angels, my father and others have decided to rebel against Zeno-sama. They are tired of their role as observers and servants and plan to purge the mortals who have grown too strong. They want to take control of the multiverse. The impact of their words is felt in everyone present. Uncertainty fills the air. Vegeta would be in shock. Rebellion? The angels? Against Zeno-sama? And what does that mean for us?
That explains what happened to Goku and Whis. Both were trapped in a time room, something that should not have been possible without the intervention of someone as powerful as Daishinkan. Whis is trapped in the time room with Goku? Vados asked, while his face reflected some concern, understanding the seriousness of the situation. This is more serious than I thought. My father is already moving his pieces. Whis and Goku are two big threats for his plan. If they are trapped, it means that Daishinkan wants to get rid of them before they can interfere. Not only that, the rebel angels are preparing the Day of Purge. They want to purge all the mortals who have become too strong, and believe me, that includes all of you. Goku, Vegeta, even the strongest of other universes like Jiren, Hit, and Broly are on the list. Bulma, and being scared. Are you telling me that they are going to exterminate the mortals just because they are too strong? That's bullshit. This is crazy. No one can stop Daishinkan. If he decides to go ahead with this, there is no force in the multiverse that can face him. How do we expect to fight the angels? Beerus wondered as he clenched his fists. That is the reason why we came. Although my father is incredibly powerful, not all angels agree with his rebellion. I do not support it, and there are others who also oppose. We must form a united front. We must prepare to fight, even if the probabilities seem impossible. Beerus would smile, looking at everyone, saying, I know this seems crazy. Even I know that facing Daishinkan is like challenging fate. But life is one, and if we are going to die, I prefer to do it fighting for the right thing. I'm not going to sit around while the multiverse is destroyed by a purge. Gohan and Piccolo look at each other to smile. Vados at that moment says, we must unite. Also, I have spoken with the strongest warriors in Universe 6. Caulifla, Kale, Kiabe, Otamo, Megetta, Sayone, Lipolina, and Heat will come to Earth to train. We need all possible allies to resist what comes to come. Vegeta, looking at Bulma and his home, says, well, that Daishinkan will have to go over my corpse. First, I will not give up. We will return in a few hours with all the warriors. Very few places in the multiverse are safe. The Earth is not one of them. So the most essential, we will have to leave here. I will look for a place to refuge, but I do not know where. So these leave, while the warriors would look at how they would go, leaving the atmosphere of concern. Gohan would say, we must all meet. We must prepare for whatever. In the celestial palace, Zeno, the absolute king of everything, and his future self play happily with a toy that Daishinkan had recently given him. Zeno's childish smile illuminates the environment, completely oblivious to what is about to happen. Zeno's guardians, imposing beings, maintain their usual vigilance, with their eyes eternally attentive and ready to react to any threat. However, even the most powerful can fall into a carefully planned betrayal. Daishinkan, the great priest, observes from a short distance. His expression is serene, but within himself, a storm of dangerous intentions shakes. He has waited for this moment for eons. He knew that to take control of the multiverse, the first step would be to eliminate the greatest defenses of Zeno, that is, his guardians. Zeno laughs softly while Daishinkan takes a few steps forward, and at that very moment, the betrayal begins. Without prior notice, a dark and powerful energy manifests around the great priest, who launches a series of rapid attacks at the Guardians. They react immediately, invoking their own techniques to stop the offensive. But Daishinkan is not any opponent. He is one of the most powerful beings in the multiverse. The Guardians realize this, and the four figures mobilize in perfect coordination to defend themselves from Daishinkan, who does not let himself intimidate. With a simple movement of his hands, he neutralizes one of the most devastating energy explosions of the Guardians. This would tell you with a dark look, you are no longer the protectors, you are just the last obstacles of this. One of the Guardians manages to get close enough to launch a chain technique, catching Daishinkan in a multi-dimensional barrier, causing him to squeeze his teeth while saying, "What the hell do you think you're doing?" This is hit while receiving an electric discharge or something similar, causing it to suffer a lot of damage. However, this breaks the barrier, unleashing a power explosion that reduces one of the Guardians to dust. The other two Guardians, who protect the kings of everything, launch simultaneously. Daishinkan appears behind one of them to in this way destroy his head with an attack, while this with all his power ends the other using a great power. The room is silent. Only the echo of the last moments of the fierce battle resonates in the immense palace. Zeno, still distracted by his toy, seems alien to the destruction around him. Daishinkan's face softens with a small smile as he approaches the infant king. "This toy is very funny, yes," said Zeno. Daishinkan, with an almost paternal expression, kneels before Zeno with a smile that changes to a sadistic. His next action is the culmination of his betrayal. Daishinkan knew that to overthrow the almighty Zeno-sama, he would need a forbidden technique, one that consumes part of his own vital energy, but that was the only thing capable of ending an entity as imposing as Zeno-sama. Placing his hands gently on Zeno's head, Daishinkan closes his eyes for a moment, gathering the energy that he has hidden for so long. The energy grows around him, enveloping the room in a suffocating atmosphere. "I'm sorry, but your time is up." Said this who would begin to perform his technique, beginning to suffer too much, because his vital energy was being consumed since the attack to destroy the kings of everything went even beyond his power. The site shakes and trembles, the palace falls, the environment is totally deformed, it is a hell, a normal mortal would not stand there a second. Daishinkan screams in pain while doing his technique. The existence of Zeno-sama begins to disintegrate to finally disappear. Daishinkan falls to the ground, exhausted, bleeding, while he finds himself without strength to move. Not only has he achieved his plan, but he has also lost much of his power, which will take centuries to recover. Daishinkan slowly straightens up, still weakened, but with total control of the fate of all universes. The lightning assault has been a success, and the great priest has taken the empty throne of Zeno-sama. The chaos that will unleash his rebellion is about to begin. He smiles, saying,
I did it. It has already been 4 days since the event, and no one in the multiverse even suspects anything. Champa secretly met with the most powerful of his warriors, who before the news were astonished. However, despite everything, they are willing to give their lives to defeat the great priest. On Earth, the warriors are already more than conscious, while Bulma works faster to repair the machine. Vegeta and Beerus enter the room of normal time, while the rest trains with everything. In the palace of Zenosama, now called the Palace of Daishinkan, the angels, with the exception of Whis, are on their knees before the new god of everything. However, they realize that he is somewhat injured, as if he were sick. Sour, angel of the universe, would ask them, "Father, what happens? He looks very sick." Well, that is explained that after I did my spell, which I was developing for years to end Zeno, it took more than 40% of all my vitality. That is, right now I am not even half as powerful as I was before. However, that is not a problem. Right now, no one can interfere in our path. What have they done with the mortals of your universes? For some strange reason, my shackles have been damaged. I cannot watch. It is something strange, but right now my powers cannot fix such an artifact. Vados looked at all his brothers, since he knew that this sabotage had been caused by one of them, but looking he would not find anything, until he would look at a drop of sweat coming down the forehead of Margarita, so he would realize that Margarita and the beings of the Universe 11 were behind all this, and that like her they did not agree with the priest's plan. At that moment Mojito would ask, "Father, what will we do with Kuz? He already took letters on the matter with respect to Whis, but what are you going to do with her? She is the oldest of all of you, so therefore she is the most powerful. So for you, it would be difficult to defeat her. However, the only option you have is to eliminate her. My wounds are still unhealed, so for me at this moment it is too difficult to do something against her." Mojito at that moment would say, "Father, do not worry. I have been doing a great training, so at this moment my fighting powers are at a higher level than you think. So with how strong I am now, I could go to your universe and give her a lesson. She will not even expect this. Father, Mojito, I will trust you and I will let you go to finish Kuz. Once you do, there will be no loose ends. You can go." In Universe 11, Margarita would be arriving at her planet. However, she would feel a presence behind her. She would turn to look at her sister Vados. Nervous, Margarita would ask her, "Vados, what are you doing in this place? This is not your universe. You know perfectly well why I am in this place. I know what you did. I know that you were the one who destroyed the forms that our father had to locate us." At that moment, Margarita, without prior notice, would get into battle pose to launch a powerful blow to the angel, which would fly out, launching an attack with her scabbard, creating a large cloud of dust to jump in front of Margarita to give her a powerful blow to her face, which would make her bleed. "I'm not here to hurt you if that's what you think." Margarita cleaned the blood and made some movements with her scabbard, which would make the angel Vados be tied to some chains, to at that moment Margarita hit ferociously. Vados at that precise moment jumped to hit Margarita with the chains, but she would jump, avoiding the infestation of the solid chains. Thus Vados, at a great speed that not even Margarita realized, looked at her in front of him. Vados grabbed her by the neck to squeeze. Margarita tried to resist, but Vados used more power to tell her, "Calm down.
We are not enemies. I just came to tell you that I do not agree with our father either, and I am not willing to support his cause. So I know that you less. So knowing the number of powerful warriors you have in your universe and mine, and those in Universe 7, we could create a front to face Daishin Khan. Margarita at that moment would tell him, "You are right. However, you know that the power of our father is at a higher level than ours." Yes, you are completely right, but now that he is weaker than ever is the perfect time to do it. I will leave. I will be preparing my warriors. I hope you do the same. We are on Earth. The planet is not very safe, so they have changed the location, Vados, in fact. Although the planet has suffered climate changes thanks to the Mad One of Bulma, we could say that we have a quiet life. We are all living in the palace of Dende and Mr. Pop, Rahan, Picaro, the androids, the weirdos, and our families. Adding us all, we are at least about 30 people. That without including Kev. They are also here. At that moment, everyone felt a great kick coming out of the room of time. They were Khalifa, Kale, Broly, Hit, and Key. The four came out of the room of time saying, "Hit, my jump in time increased a lot." Khalifa would say, "I could finally get to Cytarine 3. Kale, "Amazing, you are dominating your form, all thanks to you, Broly." Broly at that moment smiled. "Who will be the next to enter?" Rohan, looking at Picaro, I would say, "It's our turn." Both were heading to the entrance of the room. However, at that moment, just before entering, something from heaven would impact with such force that it would destroy the door and cause a crater in the palace. Everyone would be surprised, and Beerus at that moment would approach to look, observing something that would leave him scared. It was an angel. It was Kuz, which was more than hurt, injured, who was on the verge of death.
Quickly, the seeds. Vegeta would look for a seed to give it to him, which was recovered. Everyone surrounded her to listen to her. "We already know that you are not of the bad, Kuz," the angel at that moment would say. "There is no time. This whole situation is going to explode." Days before, after the meeting of the angels, Kuz was with his god in his universe, as if nothing. However, at that moment, a noble presence appeared on the site, which Rumos, Goas, and the angel would turn to look, as on the site would appear the angel of Universe 9, the angel Mojito. Kuz would turn, but he would notice some bad intentions from the first moment, which would keep her somewhat alert. "Mojito, I am surprised that you are in this place, and more without your destructive god. Something happens?" Goasu slowly opens his eyes and turns, surprised to see Mojito in his territory. "Mojito, what brings you here? Your presence is unusual, but always welcome. What do you need?" Mojito smiles even wider, his gaze fixed on the old man Kaioshin. Without further ado, he raises a hand, and suddenly a dark and lethal energy surrounds Goasu, and before the old man can react, his body begins to disintegrate from the inside, without even time to scream in pain. Rumos gets up, trembling by the energy that begins to escape from his body. "What the hell do you think you're doing? You will be punished for disobeying your angel rules. You just committed a murder." The connection between the Kaioshin and the gods of destruction is unbreakable. If one dies, the other also falls. In a matter of seconds, Rumos falls on his knees, with his face marked by pain.
until his body succumbs and collapses lifeless. The death of Rumos and Goasu creates a heavy and desolating atmosphere on the planet. Kuz, who has observed everything, feels like an uncontrollable fury seizes his being. She had never experienced such an intense anger. She did not even imagine that she could feel something like that. Mojito, however, remains immutable, enjoying his own destructive act. How dare you commit this sacrilege? I do not understand. I do not understand. You damn. In a blink of an eye, Kuz throws himself towards Mojito with incredible speed and precision, taking a hit, but Mojito stops him while he laughs. What the hell? Were you one of the weakest? Because now you are faster. You don't know, you never knew, but you fell in love so much with these gods, with this universe, that you forgot that someday this multiverse would be ours. At that moment, Mojito kicked Kuz to hit her. The clash between the two angels is colossal. The energy they release is so intense that the planet begins to crack under their feet, and the sky darkens with the flashes of their attacks. Kuz, all the universes will be erased in order, along with their destructive gods, and will be re-established from scratch, but with a different order. We will create a multiverse to our image and likeness. Don't say bullshit. How are they going to do such aberration? Are you crazy? The battle between the two angels reaches a critical point. It cannot match Kuz's speed and strength in his state of fury. Each of his attempts to block or counter his attacks is useless. Kuz hits him brutally in the stomach, making him bend in pain. Before he can react, he hits him with a powerful upward kick that throws him to the sky, followed by a quick burst of energy that intercepts him in mid-air and returns him to the ground with a devastating impact. Angry, the angel would tell him, "Damn, I didn't think you would go that far." Kuz does not respond with words. Instead, he grabs Mojito's arm with force and, with a precise movement, breaks it. The sound of the bone breaking echoes all over the planet, and Mojito's scream of pain cuts the air. Mojito falls on his knees, with his arm hanging. I don't understand what led you to do what you did, and I don't care about the consequences, but I'll end you. At that moment, Mojito began to laugh, making the angel feel a little confused. Before he can react, two figures appear around him. Korn, the angel of Universe 8, and Sour, the angel of Universe 2. Are you having fun, Kuz? It seems that Mojito needs a hand, or maybe two. Sour, at that moment, would say, "We cannot allow you to continue interfering with the plans of the Great Priest. What are you doing here? What plans of the Great Priest? What are you planning, my father?" Korn, at that moment, would say, "Since we are going to eliminate you at this moment, it is the perfect time to tell you. We are going to end all the gods, mortals, planets, and living beings of all universes, to do it from scratch again, this time creating a perfect multiverse in which the angels let us be the ones who are above the pyramid, as it should be." He said that at that moment the angel, making Kuz feel surprised by all this. This he would say with a lot of rage. And for that was it necessary to end the life of Rumos? Why not start without ending the gods? I do not understand. What's wrong with you? Why do you support something like that? We were not created for this. You know we were created for." With his healthy arm, Mojito slapped Kuz. "We were not created to be servants of beings that are far below us. We knew you would never understand it. So, by not doing it, you also became one more mortal, in a lower being, at least for our eyes." Sour and Mojito prepare to launch their own energy towards the sphere, combining their forces to create a final attack. Kuz, with the little power he has left, tries to concentrate a defense, but it is useless. The three angels launch their combined attack. The energy sphere expands and completely engulfs Kuz, along with the entire planet. The resulting explosion is immense, destroying everything in its path, erasing not only Kuz, but also the planet and any form of remaining life in it. Korn, at that moment, once the smoke was dissipated, would say, "Perfect, one less. It's time to continue." Sour would say, "Yes, now it only remains to end the mortals." All the Z warriors listening to this would say, "So they are destroying all the universes one by one to re-establish them. This is incredible. The universes are big, so it would take a long time." Vados said, who arrived at the site along with Margarita, the members of the Troops of Pride. "What are all of you doing in this place?" Beerus asked. Vados would say,
It's simple. The final fight